Welcome friends to my channel Ritu's Tutorial, and today we will be discussing a very important poem which is there in your ISC syllabus, The Spider and the Fly. This poem has been written by Mary Howitt. In the year 1828 it was published, and the subtitle of the poem is a cute version of a scary story. Now the poem contains 7 stanzas and the rhyme scheme of the pattern is AABBCC. Now, the rhyme scheme is particularly effective because it forms couplets or sets of 2 lines, and this really moves the poem quickly through its pairs. Now, Hobbit also uses another technique, which is repetition. In the first stanza of the poem, you will see that the poem is starting with the interrogative sentence, "Will you walk into my parlor?" And there are 2 important characters in this poem, the spider and the fly. Now, the spider is telling to the fly, "Will you walk into my parlor?" means that the spider is trying to lure the fly to come into its web. Now, it's the prettiest little parlor that ever do you spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stairs. Now, the winding stairs particularly means the spider's web, and it describes the entrapment of a silly fly who gives up into her own vanity and loses her life to a cunning spider. The final speech the spider gives is also a flatter speech which tricks the fly eventually, and thus the spider eats up the fly. The poem concludes with the speaker reminding that the children may easily fall into traps or false words by evil counselors. Now, if we go into the analysis of the poem, the first stanza of the poem is very straightforward, and it discusses that the 2 speakers, which is the spider and the fly, is having a conversation, and the spider, whose ultimate goal is to attract a fly to its parlor, and the fly, who does her best to resist. In the first line of the spider begins by asking the fly very nicely if she will come into the parlor or not. But the fly knows very well that someone who goes into the parlor never comes back again. That is why in the last line of the first stanza it's written, "For who goes up the winding stairs can never come down again." In the second stanza, it's told that, "I'm sure you must be weary, dear, soaring up so high. Will you resist my little bed?" said the spider to the fly. "There are pretty curtains drawn around, and the sheets are fine and thin." Now, in this line, or in this stanza rather, the spider is trying to describe the parlor, which is very pretty. Why? Because it has pretty curtains and the sheets are also thin and fine. Now, the cunning spider in the third stanza is again trying to flatter the fly, and by telling that, "I have within my pantry good store for all that's nice." That means not only the spider is trying to attract the fly by a good attractive winding stairs, but also good food. "I'm sure you are welcome. Will you please take a slice?" And it's telling that, "I have kept good food, and if you want to take a good slice." "Oh, no, no," said the little fly. "Kind sir, that cannot be. I have heard what is in your pantry, and I do not wish to see." And the fly is telling that, "Even I don't want to wish to see that what is there in your pantry." The next stanza, the spider is addressing the fly as sweet creature. Why? Because the spider is very witty as well as he is very wise. And he knows how to lure or how to flatter the fly so that it comes into his traps. Now, again the fly is trying to resist and tell that I don't want to go to your parlor. The spider is still not giving up. He turns to compliment the fly on her gauzy or fine and transparent wings. He also calls the fly's eye brilliant, trying to get the best of her vanity. And there the fly would be able to admire herself more clearly, and if she agrees, she will be pleased with what she sees. And again, the fly is declining the offer once more, telling the spider thank you for the offer and compliments. While this is still in the present situation, that we should not be lured or we should not follow anyone who is giving us an evil advice. In the fifth stanza, we are saying that the spider turned him around and went to his den, for, well, he knew the silly fly would come back and come back soon. So he had wove a subtle web, and he knew that the fly will come. So, in order to solidify his future meal, he goes out and calls once more to the fly. He refers to her as pretty fly with pearl and silver wing. She is colored green and purple with diamond eyes, and he compares these features to his own dull, lead like eyes. She has a beautiful, and he does not. In the sixth stanza, you will see that the speaker expresses her opinion on what happens next with the opening words. Alas, alas. Unfortunately, the fly does come back. She is silly and little and easily taken by the flattery words. The fly comes back slowly until she was finally near enough for the spider to jump up and grab her. She was distracted and thinking about her own beauty and all the compliments paid to her. This was her downfall, and this was thus her end. The fly is held fast by the spider and taken up, and thus now though then use of the alliteration of the word dismal den is very important. Thus, in the last four lines of the poem, the poet is actually giving us the message that, and now the dear little children who may the story read, to idle, silly, flattery words, I pray you never give heed. So, we should never give heed or pay attention to evil advices given by the evil counselors, even if they are very attractive, because one should instead learn from the tale of the spider and the fly and keep bad people far from one's heart, ear, and eye. So, thank you, friends, for listening to my explanation. In order to follow, please subscribe, like, and share the video. Thank you.